Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing. Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. This is episode 577, and I'm your host, Heidi. And if you're joining me today, you're probably someone who loves finding ways to make your life feel more vibrant and intentional and really just feel better in your own skin. Who doesn't want that? So whether you're sipping your coffee, you're out for a walk, or you're tackling that never-ending laundry pile, I'm so happy you're here. I've been all in my feels lately about design. I've been working on some really beautiful design projects, but I've been thinking about how nature's design can really inspire our homes and our lives. I mean, why does a little pop of color in a calm backdrop feel so nice, feel so right? And why does bringing that natural vibe into our space make it feel more peaceful, but yet still alive? So I was thinking about this the other morning. Picture this. It's just a beautiful, sunny, warm, early summer morning, and I'm sitting in what I like to call my terrarium. You know, it's that cozy little spot in my house that has floor-to-ceiling windows. And it makes me feel like I'm right in the middle of nature, because basically I am. So I'm sitting there and the sunlight sort of just streaming in, and I can hear the cicadas and the birds are all sort of chatting outside, and I'm just soaking it all in. And everything is this beautiful mix of just greens from the leaves and browns from the tree trunks. So soothing, right? But then out of nowhere, kind of in the backdrop, I spot this little burst of pink from a crepe myrtle tree. It's like nature's confetti and sprinkled in just perfectly. And in that moment, I thought, wow, that's really how I love to design. And it hit me. That's why it feels so good to me. That's why it feels so good to most people, is we're wired to appreciate that balance. I mean, think about it. God didn't paint the world in neon chaos. He created these vast, like calming canvases of earth tones and then added those yummy little pops of color through birds and flowers and butterflies. It's like he's saying, here's your wonderful peace, and then here's your little sparks of joy. And that's why I think we feel so grounded and happy in spaces that echo nature. For me, if there's too much color everywhere, it just feels off. It feels chaotic and overwhelming. But when it's done right, like that little pop of a crepe myrtle, it really just kind of lifts your spirit without throwing everything out of whack. But this got me thinking about how much our surroundings shape how we feel. Like, have you ever been in a room that's all one color, say it's super beige, and you just feel sort of uninspired? Or maybe on the opposite end of the spectrum, a room that's got every shade of the rainbow fighting for attention, and you suddenly feel like, I need to sit down, I need a break. There's actually a term for designing with nature in mind, and it's called biophilic design. It sounds a little fancy, but it just means bringing elements of the outdoors inside to make us feel more connected and balanced. I love to design this way, and research really backs up that this is something that we all are sort of innately appreciate. I mean, studies show that spaces with plants and natural light that can really cut stress, they can spark creativity, and they even help you sleep better. One study found that people working in offices that had greenery were 15% more productive. I think it's just crazy. I mean, I totally get it. But it's like we're wired to thrive when our spaces reflect the world outside. And I recently finished a major overhaul for a client that had lots of color. She has always loved lots of color in her space. I've been working with them for many years, but I had designed her husband's space, and it was sort of, he's got my style, which is very natural and sort of not a lot of color. But I had been working with them for a while, so we were just now getting to tackle her kitchen. And her kitchen had lots of blacks and reds and turquoises and yellows and all the colors. But she said to me, I kind of want my kitchen to feel like his space, like his office that I designed. She was really ready for her kitchen and hearth to match the rest of the areas that we had already finished. So as I always do with design, I took a cue from nature and I added in warm wood cabinets to mimic those earthy browns of the trees. And we mixed in creamy gray cabinets with it. And we added black iron doors to some of the front of the cabinets with glass in them so that when we were ready to add a little pop of color in that kitchen, that's where we did it. We added some beautiful like soft green and little pops of soft yellow pieces into the cabinet, which was backlit. It was a lovely warm light. So, oh my gosh, it just changed everything. She does spend a lot of time cooking in her kitchen, and she said now it feels so good. And even her family loves to be in there too. They hang out longer at the island, just talking. So really, it's not just a kitchen anymore. It's a space that feels alive and vibrant and like you want to be in there. I love that. I bet you have had moments like that too. Maybe your porch where there's a beautiful, it's subtle, but then there's bright pink flowers that you've brought in. Or maybe you're on a hike when a patch of wild flowers makes the whole trail magical. Has that ever happened? Or nature really does know how to keep it simple, but also impactful. And we can do the same in our home and our lives too. I mean, think about it. A majority of our lives are spent in everyday habits, and then we sprinkle in moments of spice, like going to a dinner party with friends or maybe going to the beach with family. Now, doing that 24/7, we get old. If you're like me, I like my routine and I love to sprinkle in travel and social time with it. It makes for a well-balanced life, just like we can do our well-balanced home, and it really does make us feel better, and it makes a difference in our life. Because what really matters is that our environment shapes our mindset. A chaotic space can make your thoughts feel scattered, but a nature-inspired space, it invites calm and focus, which are the key ingredients for nailing all of your goals, whether that's, really working hard at your career or being present with the ones that you love the most in your home. So is your environment inviting and welcoming? Does it have a calming effect? I mean, with the chaos that life can be, sometimes it's nice to know you can come home to a respite. And it's not that hard to do if you know where to start. I find that people often don't know where to start. So sometimes that just stops them from doing anything at all. So my first idea, and I've got 5 things really that can help you bring that chaos into more of a calming environment. My first tip, and I say this to clients all the time, and that is to build a neutral base. So think of the things you can't change easily as you're all over nature, your natural colors, your canvas, so to speak. So soothing beiges or chocolates are big right now, but warm woods, maybe soft, soothing greens. Just kind of take a look in nature for inspiration for your all over colors. So like the forest or a sandy beach. Those are some beautiful colors with the shells and the sand. Oh my goodness, so perfect. But try painting a wall in a soft sage. I mean, think of how beautiful that is. Or tossing in some earth tone pillows on your sofa. Why not? It's the calm canvas that lets everything else shine. And then also add intentional pops of color, just like that little crepe myrtle. Pick 1 or 2 vibrant accents. I recently have been working with a client who loves blue, and we started with a neutral canvas, and we added beautiful blue throws and pillows. We brought in fresh greenery from her yard. She sent me a text just not too long ago telling me how much joy the room has brought her and all of her family. She said whenever she walks by it, it brings a smile to her face. So much so that we're doing the rest of her house now. So be prepared. Once one room feels really amazing, you're going to want them all to feel that way. But when you have the little just kind of spots of color here and there, this is the bonus. When it's easy to change out, like pillows and throws, you can change it up with the season. So you can do pinks in summer, oranges in fall, or reds at Christmas. I love doing that, changing my pillows up every now and again. It really does change the whole feel of the house, especially when you have a natural canvas that you're starting with, because everything goes with that. Now, I already gave a hint to my third tip, but the third thing is to have live plants if you can, even if it's just fresh flowers or greenery from your yard like we did with my client. You don't need a green thumb. I mean, you could easily start with succulents or snake plants. They clean the air and they add that organic vibe. Something that I love, and you can get these at Kroger or grocery store, Costco, Sam's, whatever it is that you have, Publix. I think Publix has them, but fiddle leaf figs are beautiful, and they are fairly easy to take care of. But it's like a piece of living art. I mean, you cannot go wrong with nature and plants in your home. But just remember, if they die, you gotta let them go, because that's not good to have dead plants in your house. Feng Shui will tell you that. So the fourth thing really to bring nature into your house is to mix textures for depth. Nature does not ever have one note. I mean, you see wood, you see stone, you see linen colors. A woven rug or a wooden side table can mimic that variety of a landscape, and it can just make your space feel really dynamic. Feng Shui actually calls for you to have layers. So think textured fabrics, varied heights of furniture, maybe strategically placed plants and mirrors to create depth. It's really lovely when you see a room. A lot of times a beautiful room will have a lot of layers to it. And finally, this is never going to be last or the last thing I think about. It usually is the very first thing I think about, but it's to prioritize lighting. Natural light is the gold standard. So make sure you open your curtains in the mornings. It is so beautiful to have that natural sunlight coming through, even if you're not going to be hanging out there for the whole day. Open your drapes and your shades. It matters so much. And also, I see this a lot now with the LED bulbs. It's very difficult to get the right ones, and people just have like blue and green and white and orange bulbs all over the house, and that will really mess with your head. It'll mess with your mind. It'll mess with your brain. So try to grab warm LED bulbs that mimic sunlight. Now, 2700 Kelvin, I've talked about that a lot. 2700 Kelvin is the color temperature that I like. You can find it on any box of bulbs. Just look at the color temperature. Want it to be around 2700. It's a game changer for your mood. You know, nature's design always feels intentional to me, like it was crafted to restore us. Don't you think that? It's like the beach or the mountains. What is not to love there? And doesn't it just automatically calm you down? And science agrees with that. Colors like green and blue can lower your heart rate. Have you ever noticed that in hospitals, a lot of times they'll do like a green or a blue because it's actually calming you down, while bright pops trigger dopamine, so that happy chemical in your brain. It's like nature's got this built-in recipe for balance. And I love how it shows up in small ways, like a single colorful bird in a quiet forest or one little flower in a field. Have you ever seen that? I love seeing that. It's subtle, but it is so powerful. It's really all about cohesion and flow. A neutral base with pops of interchangeable color. That is what I think a beautiful home is made of. Nature's blueprint is all about harmony, not perfection. That little pink crepe myrtle, in my view, it's proof that a little joy sprinkled into the calm can transform everything. Whether you're tweaking your space or your mindset, lean into what feels naturally good to you. And the world outside really does show us how. It has a path for us. My challenge to you today is just to maybe grab some fresh flowers from the grocery or just greenery from your backyard and bring your space to life with nature. It's one little way to spark joy in your life this week. I love this episode so much, and I hope you did too. If it hit home, hit that subscribe button, drop a review, or share it with a friend who would really love a home refresh, but may not know where to start. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days. Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.